So I get this question from time to time. People asking me, how much should they take the first time doing acid? Um, well, I can't really answer that because, well, that would violate YouTube's terms of use, right? I mean, I can't advise somebody on how to do illegal drugs, although psychedelics have been decriminalized in San Francisco, Oakland, and Santa Cruz, I think. So this advice, it's not really advice. I'm going to share my opinion. Um, uh, Goes to people who live in San Francisco only. So don't listen to this. I'm not a doctor either. This is a disclaimer part. I'm not a doctor. Um, I'm not giving you advice on how to do illicit drugs. I'm going to tell you and share my experience when I first did acid my first time. And we're going to leave it at that. So, because I'm not a doctor and following anything I say could be hazardous to your health, you should never do illegal drugs, and you shouldn't do any drugs that aren't recommended by your doctor. That being said, if I was your doctor, I'd give you the same advice. But I'm not giving you advice. I'm giving you my opinion. I'm sharing my experience, I should say. So here's my experience. First 2 or 3 times, I think the first 3 times I did acid, I was disappointed because I didn't do enough. The first time I took half a hit because I was cautious, half a tab, whatever. I was cautious, believed all these old wives' tales. Didn't want to freak out, shit like that. So I took like half a tab. Didn't do much. Okay, I was kind of disappointed. Next time, I took a whole tab, but I'm not actually sure if it was a whole tab because I think guy that I got it from I think was a dick, and I think he cut it in half. But I didn't take enough, so I was disappointed again. Third time, same thing. Took a whole hit. I think it was bunk that time. I almost just gave up. I almost was like, fuck this. This is stupid. But I wanted to experience things, right? I wanted to see what the hype was about. I wanted to see a different reality. I wanted to know what it was like to hallucinate. I wanted to trip. I wanted to see what that was like. I really heard all these stories. I was excited about it. I just didn't quite have the balls. I was a little scared because I believed a lot of the hype and the bullshit stories that you hear about like people permanently tripping and this HDDP and you know um, all kinds of other things like you're never gonna come back and you're gonna be legally insane and stupid shit, or you're gonna jump off a rooftop. No, never known anybody any of those things that happen to anybody. So anyway, the fourth time, I decided to take two. I took 2 tabs because I got frustrated, and at this point, I wasn't even really caring about being cautious anymore. Although there's nothing wrong with being cautious, but you have to ask yourself, like I asked myself, why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I want to pussyfoot around? Do I want to have these disappointing uh, experiences? Asking myself, is this even real? Hey, I kind of feel it. Do I feel it? Am I feeling it? Am I tripping? Is this what it is? I don't know because I can't tell. I don't feel high, but I kind of feel high. Things look a little bit different. It sucked. No, I wouldn't want my first experience. If I could go back, I wouldn't have that to be my first experience, which is what it was. It's the first couple experiences. I would want my first experience to be like the fourth time I tried it, which I took 2 tabs and I tripped good. It was a life changing experience. It blew my mind. I had a great fucking time. Um, I'd never seen anything like it. It was awesome. So if I could go back in time, I would have taken 2 tabs my first time, or the equivalent of about 200 mg or UGs, about 200 UGs. 150 to 200 UGs is a pretty, that's a pretty decent dose. How much those tabs were, I have no fucking idea. We didn't measure shit back then, but it was enough to make me trip. And one of the best experiences of my life, and I don't regret it at all. So I wish I would have been more. I wish I would have had more balls because I had a great time. It wasn't anything like, with acid, you're not going to do too much to where you're going to freak out. You could, but people freak themselves out because they have panic attacks and anxieties. But I'm not prone to mental issues. I didn't have any emotional issues. I was in a good situation. I was comfortable. I was with people who I liked. I mean, the timing was right, which is all important. But yeah, if I could go back in time, I would have taken 2 tabs or I would have taken 200 UGs. And I wish I would have because I wanted my first experience, as I would expect others to, their first time doing acid, to be like that, to be a magical experience, to be fucking see a new reality, to trip, to see what it's like. Um, so again, I'm not giving you any advice. Couldn't do that about doing illegal drugs. I'm sharing my experience on what I wish I would have done. Take that for what it is. San Francisco. Have fun. Oh yeah, I forgot to add this. I can count on one hand out of tripping about 100 to 150 times just on acid, right? Not including shrooms or DMT. On acid, I can count on one hand out of 150 times I've tripped, roughly. How many times I regretted taking too much. Okay? I can count on both these hands, your hands, and the guy's other hands watching, and his girlfriend's hands, how many times I regret not taking enough. Put it that way.